Okay, so this is our PainSmart workshop for neck pain, okay? There's one. Now I'm counting it every single time. Dang it, Jaylee. Okay, so we're going to start by talking about the chronic pain experience, and I'm going to tell you that story through my own personal journey. I originally was injured in high school PE class. I was 17 years old. I tore a disc, broke my back in 3 places, had nerve damage going down my right leg, and I was a mess. I was in severe pain. That entire journey lasted about 11 years, and it was a very long and arduous journey. When I first started to go to the doctor, I went to my general practitioner, and he said, "Extend your leg out." And he said, "Now lift it up." And he said, did that make your pain way worse? And I said, "No." He said, "Oh, there's no problem, then you're fine." We didn't know about the fractures and the torn disc and the nerve damage, but his wonderful diagnostic process was extend your leg, raise it. Was that super painful? No, okay, you're fine. Brilliant. So that was frustrating. He then sent me to physical therapy, who told me to sit on a ball and bounce 1,000 times a day on this ball 1,000 times for weeks, every single day. Unsurprisingly, it did not fix the issue. Went to surgeons, went to pain management doctors. They all told me something different. It was very frustrating. I went to my pain management doctor. He said, "Well, do you want a cortisone injection?" And I said, "I want to be fixed." He said, "Well, do you want a cortisone injection?" And we got locked into this loop. It was very unproductive, and it was very frustrating. Went to my surgeon, or a surgeon, and he looked at my MRI and said, "Well, I think you need surgery." This was the 3rd surgeon. The rest of them told me I didn't need surgery. This one said that I did. He said, "Well, you need surgery, but you're 22. I'm not doing surgery on you. Wait until you're about ready to kill yourself and then come back to me and I'll do surgery." Excuse me? So I went to a surgeon down at the UCSF Spine Center, and he had a much more logical approach. We did diagnostics and we looked for the root cause of the pain. Great. This is a direction that I can get down with. We ended up doing a 3-level spinal fusion. Spinal fusions are a pretty big surgery for those of you who don't know. And I felt better for a few weeks after the surgery, and then I got worse. And I was back on a cane. I was back on opiates, on a walker, for another 2 years. So clearly the spinal fusion wasn't the thing that fixed me, right? I went back to him, to my surgeon, and he said, "Well, when they do this, you start to lose confidence." He said, "Well, we can fuse your SI joint." And I said, "Well, what does that entail?" He said, "Well, it's about a 6-inch screw, 4 of them through your spine and your hips, and it fuses that." I'm like, so now we're chasing surgeries with surgeries. Not a good direction. Not liking where this is going. And so I walked away and said, "I'm going to have to fix this myself." Because clearly, the pain management world does not have the answer, or the whole answer, right? And so the point of this is that the chronic pain experience is characterized by ignorance, by fear, by despair, and by loneliness. And so those are the enemies during this process. Not your body, not the pain signals. It is the not knowing what's going on. It is the confusion and the whole experience being steeped in fear of not knowing if you're ever going to get out of pain, not knowing what the problem is, those are the things that we have to wade through to get answers. So those are the true enemies in this experience, not your structures, not the MRI results. It's the pain. It is the fear. It is the confusion. That's what we have to go after. Does that make sense? What is Align? Basically, what we want to do at Align is fundamentally change the pain management conversation. We want to get people talking about what are my root causes of my pain, not should I be getting cortisone injections, should I be getting a surgery. We need to be having conversations with our doctors about what is the real problem that's generating my pain, not asking aimlessly, should we get a cortisone injection? Should we take some pills? What is the goal? We want to change those conversations at a fundamental level. And so what we want to do is we want to equip people in pain to walk through that journey with wisdom. What does that look like from a business standpoint? We are a gym that empowers and equips people to walk through their chronic pain journey with wisdom. And so basically, we want to break people off of the endless treatments of cortisone injections, surgeries, by finding their root cause problem that's driving the issues, not treating the symptoms. So we want to equip and empower people to find the root cause issues of their problem. Does that make sense? Now, sometimes that means that we tell people that they don't need us because we aren't the fix for everything, right? And so we will empower them, say, there is a way out, and we want to equip you with that means, and here's what it is. Go. Does that make sense? We aren't always the answer, but we can always love people well in that moment. So, what does it look like? So we are at a PainSmart workshop. What the heck does that mean, right? What does it look like to be PainSmart? Being PainSmart means that you are hopeful, educated, and empowered. Okay? If you aren't PainSmart, you are a pain victim. You are either walking through your journey empowered, seeking knowledge, and stepping into your rightful place in your story, or you're waiting for something to happen to you. You're waiting for a doctor to fix you. You're waiting for something, right? We want you to step into that journey and seek out knowledge, know that there is a way out, and walk through that. So, on a fundamental level, what does it mean to be PainSmart? We're going to go through these, but basically it means you know the answers to these 8 questions. What is my role in managing my pain? What is pain? That's an important one, right? Right? What is the nature of chronic pain? What are the root causes of chronic pain? Then we go down to joint-specific knowledge. That's the foundational knowledge that is applicable to everybody's pain journey. Now we're going to get down to the neck, because this is a neck pain workshop. How is your neck supposed to work? If you don't know how your neck is supposed to work, you have no chance of fixing it.
You don't even know how to work it.
What most commonly goes wrong? What's the most effective way to fix the dysfunction? And are pills, injections, or surgeries ever a good idea? Okay? In order to walk through your journey with wisdom, you got to know the answers to those 8 questions. So I empower and implore you to seek out answers to those questions. Today's workshop is not about necessarily getting you to understand everything that's in here or to understand everything that's going on in your body. I want to raise your level of awareness, give you hope that there is a way out, and send you off on your journey for where's my next answer? How do I get knowledge? Who do I need to talk to? How can I learn to trust a practitioner? How do I talk to a practitioner? Those are the things that I want to get into your head today. Not necessarily for you to know every single thing about the body. So if it feels like I'm not giving you highly specific, hello, come on in. Make yourself at home wherever you want. If it feels like I'm not giving you super specific information about biomechanical data, which I'm going to give you quite a bit, but I'm definitely leaving some stuff out. It's because I'm trying to go high level across what your journey should look like, not go super deep into each one. You with me? Yes. Okay. So, foundational knowledge. Let's dive in. Stephen Covey, I'm a big fan. There are lighthouse principles. You don't break them. You only break yourself against them. What's the point? You can't change the laws of physics. You can't change the laws of biology. You can only be ignorant of them and suffer for it. Bluntly put, but the truth. And you will see why I'm saying these things. I will back this up with math and with empirical evidence. What is my role in managing my pain? I want you to take your rightful place in your story. You are the steward of your body. You are the leader of your life. Fixing your pain is your responsibility. It is not your doctor's responsibility. It is your responsibility. Okay? That's really critical to stepping into this story and not waiting for your doctor to have the answer, because they won't necessarily have the answer. They may have one sliver of the answer, but you need to be the person who's looking at the bigger picture and seeking out professionals who have more answers. So, the PainSmart pledge. I am the steward of my body, and fixing my pain is my responsibility. I will take an active role in learning how my body works and how to take care of it. I will partner with experts I trust in my pain journey. At the start of your journey, you may need to say this every single day. Every single day. And you might need to rewire your brain on this one. Okay? If you're counting on your doctor or your physical therapist or your general practitioner or your pain management doc to have the answer, you're forever going to be a victim as you walk through your story, because they don't have the answer. They have answers, not the answer. Okay? What is pain? How many people's doctor has actually explained to them what pain is? No hands? I didn't think so. So we're going to go into a Sun Tzu quote, as we should at a pain workshop. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Too esoteric? What's the point? If you don't know what pain is, you have zero chance of overcoming it. You have zero chance of walking through it and out the other side. Okay? What is pain? Pain is a signal. Pain is not injury. Those are two different things. Okay? Pain, injury, two different things. Pain is a signal from your nervous system that tells your body, your brain, that there is a threat, that there may potentially be damage upcoming. Okay? I'm going to stab myself with this pen. Are you ready? I am sensing pain right now. I am not causing injury to my hand yet. Are you with me? I have not done any damage to my skin, but my body is sending pain signals up to my brain right now. Okay? It's because your pain sensing systems want to alert your brain that there is a threat before tissue damage. That makes sense, right? You want to not touch the hot stove, right? You want to get your hand off of it before it burns you all the way to the bone, right? That's a good thing, right? We like a healthy pain sensing system. We love that, okay? What we don't want is to get pain and injury confused, and we don't want our pain sensing systems to get so sensitized that it thinks walking through the freezer aisle at the grocery store is injury. Any fibromyalgia cases in here? No? Okay. So what happens with fibromyalgia is their pain sensing systems get so sensitized that their threshold for what triggers their pain signal is really, really low. So cold, sound, very light pressure will feel like you just got socked in the arm really, really hard. Pain signal versus damage, two different things, okay? Pain signals can get sensitized, they can get desensitized. That adjusts. If you ever heard anybody say, I have a high pain threshold, they use it wildly incorrect, but they're right. Pain thresholds adjust up and down, okay? We're gonna go into that. What types of things sensitize and desensitize your nociception systems, our pain sensing systems, okay? Not right now, though. What is the nature of chronic pain? Chronic pain is an illusion. What the heck does that mean? This is the one that always gets people. This guy's crazy. Chronic pain is an illusion. It looks like one thing. That's the illusion, that it looks like one problem. I have back pain. I have a knee issue. Hear the words. They're one thing. You do not have one problem. Chronic pain is always a combination of at least 3 problems layered on top of each other. Okay? What are the causes of chronic pain? Your experience of chronic pain is always a combination of stress, depression, chemical dependencies. I'm just throwing out ideas here. Chemical dependencies, sleep issues, how sensitive your pain sensing systems are, joint degeneration, muscle and joint dysfunction, right? Always. The laws of physics and biology don't change. Your chronic pain experience is always the cumulative experience of the multiple problems that you have going on in that stack, okay? So let's go through the stack. Number 1, stress, mindset, and central nervous system problems, okay? So, this is a neck pain clinic. Yay! Stress and neck pain. Are those two things correlated? Yes, they are. Do I need to say any more about that, or are we good? Is that one self-evident to everybody? If it's not, do an experiment. Close your eyes. Think about something really, really just makes you really mad. It just stresses you out. Think about the worst place you've ever been. What happens in your body? My body is sensing that there is a threat, and I'm now going to protect my vital organs. My neck, my center. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bear my chest down. I'm going to internally rotate my shoulders. I'm going to bear down. I'm going to protect my neck. I'm going to tighten my traps. I'm going to tighten my neck. Okay? So there is a link between emotions, stress, and pain. Okay? So regardless of what you have going on down below the stress issue, you can have degenerative disc disease and Facet syndrome and all these fancy words going on, right? If you are also stressed, you now have 2 problems stacked on top of each other, and your cumulative pain experience is all of it. Reduce the stress, now you just have 1 problem, right? Go on vacation. Isn't it funny? Everybody's pain always goes down when they go on vacation.
Yeah.
Always. I felt so much better. Weird. I have people who come in and they say, well, when I go out and I ride my horse, there's something about riding my horse that fixes my back because I feel better. And I'm like, emotionally, how do you feel when you get done riding your horse? Oh, so much better. It's just my happy place. We're connecting dots here, right? Okay, mindset. Okay, so we're still up here, right? Has anyone ever been in pain and thought, oh, I shouldn't be in pain. I don't want to be in pain anymore. What's wrong with me? Am I going to be this way forever? Fear. So these tapes that play also run emotional tapes that trigger pain responses. Okay? Central nervous system problems. Depression and chronic pain are the same thing. They're best friends. They hang out, right? If you have a negative, so you take an MRI of your brain, right? Someone in chronic pain has the exact same MRI as someone who is depressed, meaning the parts of their brain that are activated in processing pain signals, it's the same part of the brain. People who are depressed have pain. People who have pain are depressed. That one jumps over the fence, right? Now imagine if you're stressed, you think that you shouldn't have pain in your life, you've got some depression going on, we haven't even got to the second level yet. You've already got a whole stack of problems on top of your head. Okay, we're going to keep moving. Oh no, we're not. Central nervous system, we can't skip it. Opiates. I was on them for 11 years. It's a long time. I know what they do. So, basically what opiates do is they pump your brain full of synthetic dopamine. Okay? What happens when you take that pump away? Crash. So, what happens is your pain-sensing systems actually grow dependent upon the opiate. And so long-term, your opiates will make your pain-sensing systems more sensitized. And so your pain-sensing signals will increase in frequency and intensity because of the opiates. Okay? So, opiates. Great, very useful in the short term. Longer than 2 weeks, disaster. Okay? Second, we just got off the top level. We haven't even started yet. Second, peripheral nervous system problems. Okay, so we just used two big words. Central nervous system, your brain. Peripheral nervous system, your spinal cord and down. Okay? Your spinal cord and down is where all the sensing happens. Okay? I can feel that because my peripheral nervous system is sensing that there is pressure there. Okay? If I put heat, well, there is heat. I can feel the heat from the sun because my peripheral nervous system is sensing heat. Okay? So, I'm going to throw one more at you. Okay? You exercise. You're doing some bicep curls. You're at a gym, right? We're doing some bicep curls. What do you start feeling after 10 or so?
Heat.
Close. Pain? I mean, yes. Very good. Fatigue. Come on, give me the buzzword.
Stress.
The burn. The burn.
Saying no burn, no gain, or no pain, no gain, or whatever.
Get that nonsense out of here. You're feeling the burn, right? What are you feeling? Chemicals. chemicals inside your cell. You're feeling lactic acid. Ooh. Lactic acid or chemicals, cellular chemicals, can trigger pain sensing signals. Remember that. Okay, so if a muscle is chronically tight and contracted and overworked, it's going to be sending out what? Lactic acid, hence pain signals. Okay, so peripheral nervous system problems. Okay, those are our pain sensing systems. All right, when we are in pain for longer than just a few months, okay, these changes in our peripheral nervous system have been seen in as soon as 3 months. Our peripheral nervous system actually adapts to become accustomed to being turned on. So if I have neck pain and I've had it for longer than 3 to 6 months, train, it's like a chorus applauding me for my brilliance. Yay! So if you have been in pain for longer than 3 months, 6 months, 6 years, right? My pain sensing systems in my peripheral nervous system will learn to stay on. They will get more highly sensitized and will require less stimulus to create a bigger pain response. Less pressure, more pain response. Does that make sense? That's a problem. Yeah. Most of our people who come here have been in pain for decades. What's their peripheral nervous system doing? That thing is stuck in the on position. Even if you go have a surgery, if you go to great physical therapy, you go to counseling, you fix all this stuff, right? All the problems are fixed. You're still in pain because your pain sensing systems are switched on. We got to turn them off. Oh, revelation. I love that.
You know how to do that, then you could fix somebody with fibromyalgia, right?
We can't. Fibro is a complex one. There is a lot of research coming out that it's actually autoimmune related. So yes, we can help dramatically. There is an underlying issue that a rheumatologist needs to be pulled into on the team. So Align is not the be-all, end-all of every case. We are one piece who can then help bring in other pieces that are required. Inflammation problems. Okay, so you wake up and your body is just hurting, right? You didn't do anything. Nothing changed, but your pain levels went up by 30, 40%, right? You might even have some swelling. You're just achy. You go to your doctor, they say, oh, well, you're inflamed. Here's some anti-inflammatories, right? They're right. You are inflamed, okay? So nothing else can change. Stress, mindset, peripheral nervous system sensitizations, joint degeneration. Your joints didn't just degenerate rapidly overnight. Doesn't happen, right? Your body didn't magically get more dysfunctional overnight. You're inflamed. If inflammation levels are high, pain-sensing signals are going to be created, okay? You can see how if you start to get 4 or 5 of these things stacked on top of your head, you can have a mess on your hands, and you go to one person and they're like, well, I think it's this. You got a whole big ball of yarn that you're trying to unwind, and it's really hard, and it's confusing, and it sucks. It's no fun at all. So inflammation problems drive up pain signals, okay? Now, where can inflammation come from? Right? Your body senses a threat, okay? So it can come from stress, okay? It can come from ice cream. It can come from refined sugars, dairy, lots of caffeine, lots of salt, right? And so the food that we put in is going to drive up or drive down our inflammation levels, okay? Joint degeneration problems. This is the level that everybody likes to say, there's my problem. Yeah. That's the issue. Look, I found it. I got an MRI and I got the answer. I got a degenerative disc. Got a bulging disc.
So
I have a torn rotator cuff, so I'm in pain. So I'm in pain. That's the one problem, right? I have osteoarthritis. I got a diagnosis, so therefore that is my entire problem. The science doesn't support it. It just doesn't. There is lots of studies, but there are studies out there that show that there is no correlation or very, very loose correlation, depending on diagnosis, between MRI findings and pain signals. Okay? 70% of 70-year-olds have completely asymptomatic degenerative disc disease. I'm going to say that slower. 70% of 70-year-olds have discs that are degenerated and have zero pain at all. Zero. It's like 50% of bulging discs have zero pain. 70% of stenosis cases have zero pain. So you cannot get an MRI, see a finding, and say, there's my problem. You just can't do it. It's not that simple. There's more to it. Okay? In a lot of countries, it is actually not recommended to get an MRI at the start of a chronic pain investigation because it leads to poor diagnostic decisions. They actually recommend against getting an MRI because it drives bad medicine.
Wow. Which countries are those?
Europe, mostly. Germany is a big one that's driving that. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that the state of your joints doesn't matter. It definitely does. It's one piece of the puzzle. Okay? Muscle and joint dysfunction problems. What does that mean? Your joints are supposed to work a certain way. Okay? When they're not working the way that they should, you create highly focused areas of stress and load. Okay? Stress and load on different materials in the body responds differently. Does anybody have a callus on the inside of their big toe? Come on, people, you got to know this. Yeah, the answer is yes. Everybody raise your hand. Why is that? Because your foot is rolled out slightly, your big toe is diving in, and you're rolling off the inside of your foot, putting extra stress on the skin of the inside of your big toe, and your body is responding by thickening that material. Because you've placed highly focused stress and load into an area. I'm going to go super fast through this. If you want to take notes, great. If not, and you want to let it go over, that's fine. Bone, skin, calluses, it grows thicker under highly focused loads. Bone grows thicker, bone spurs, right? Cartilage gets destroyed, goes bye-bye. Tendons fray, muscles contract. I've just described every single biomechanical issue in the textbook. Plantar fasciitis, tendinitis, super tight trapezius, stenosis, bone spurring. If you want to find the root cause, look for where you're placing load and how that material is adapting to that load. I know, that was a lot. I apologize. Okay. Case study. Miss Jean Blankenship. She came to a line with severe, severe neck pain. I love Jean to death. She came in. She was holding her head up in her consult, crying. I asked her what her pain levels were. She said a 4 or a 5. She couldn't hold her pain up, and she couldn't hold her head up, and she was in tears. I said, "Sweetie, your pain is a 9." She was tensed, Her face was contracted. There was all these nonverbal body language cues that were saying she was in pain, right? Her average daily pain levels were an 8. She had been through physical therapy, cortisone injections, massage, chiropractic care. Additionally, she went through standard medical diagnostics of X-ray and MRIs. Her scans showed moderately advanced degenerative disc disease, some bone spurring, some facet arthritis, the cartilage on the back side of your bones that it can wear away. Because remember, when cartilage gets loaded, it goes bye-bye. She wasn't ready for surgery, and her doctor said, we don't really want to do surgery. There's nothing here that's telling us that, because there's no correlation between structural damage and pain, and so there's just no reason to. She didn't want it. She wanted to avoid it. We walked with her through a pain journey. We identified and corrected the root causes of pain within our control. Jean has now been pain-free for 4 years. She works in her garden. She gets to do all the things that she loves. Go to the movies. The first time she went to the movies, when she was actually able to go and look up at the screen and not be in severe chronic pain, she just cried. She came in, I went to the movies, and we cried and hugged each other. It was great. It was beautiful. So what was going on with her? Central nervous system problems were roughly 10%. She had been in pain for a really long time, so her peripheral nervous system was sensitized. Inflammation problems. We tightened up her nutrition. Joint degeneration. She had some stuff going on MRI. She was 70 when she came to us. There's stuff at 70, right? Joint dysfunction problems were at least 50% of it. Okay? So, how do joint dysfunction problems and joint degeneration problems play with each other? Right? They don't play nicely. When a joint gets dysfunctional, it creates joint degeneration. Right? All of these problems, we're going to go back for a second. All of these problems are feedback looped onto each other. And so it creates what we call the downward spiral. Okay? So you get some muscle and joint dysfunction. It starts to create some joint degeneration. So now you have a cut on your hand and you're rubbing sandpaper on it. You're in pain, and so it's harder to sleep. You're stressed. You've been in pain for a while now, and your pain sensing systems are starting to get sensitized. You've now created 4 big issues. You're tired, you're in pain, you're feeling hopeless, nobody has any answers. So you start to eat ice cream. Let's be real here, right? It helps for a little bit, but then that drives up inflammation, right? So one problem created multiple problems, and then it starts to spiral, and you start to get into a downward spiral that's really hard to pull out of, okay? Let's keep cruising. I'm going to skip Ray's case study for speed purposes. Does everybody feel like they understand chronic pain, the chronic pain experience, and the nature of pain a bit more?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go into some joint-specific knowledge. Okay. So, again, if you don't know how your body is supposed to work, you have 0 chance of fixing it. So if you take nothing from today, take this. Seek out knowledge. Find out how your body is supposed to work, because there are laws of physics and our bodies obey them 100% of the time. Okay. In order to be a good steward of your body, you must know how it's supposed to work. The spine is a pillar made up of 33 segments or pieces, vertebrae, that are supposed to be stacked vertically. Okay? We're talking about a neck pain clinic, so we are including the neck in that. To understand this, let's talk about car tires. We've got one guy. He's pumped about this. Are you ready? He's like, yes, cars. Alignment issues, yay. Okay, who knows what the camber is on wheels? Show of hands. All of them raised, all of them. All their hands went up. The camber angle is the angle at which your tires are sitting. Ideally, they're sitting straight up and down, okay? But sometimes there's issues. And sometimes people do it on purpose. I don't understand. That's okay, I don't have to. I don't have to understand. I release it. So, sometimes camber issues happen unintentionally. Sometimes they happen intentionally. Regardless, the laws of physics apply 100% of the time. Pause for dramatic effect. Okay, so if your tires are angled like this, how is that tire going to wear? The inside of that tire is going to wear down fast. Why? Because physics is real. When you put a lot of load and friction into an area, it wears down faster than if you didn't put that load and friction on it. Okay? So your tire is going to wear based on alignment. This workshop is sponsored by Les Schwab. Just kidding. That is a ploy, though. I could probably make a little money doing that, right? So, how does this apply? Does everybody get this? Yes. This is pretty clear, right? Yeah. Okay. Bye, friend. Bye. How does this apply to the neck? The neck is made of stuff. Right? That was brilliant. And it obeys, and that stuff obeys the laws of physics. If we place more stress in less surface area, that stuff breaks down faster. Yay. Okay, so let's get into some practical stuff, shall we? Okay, so let's say that my head goes forward 4 inches, okay? Now, I'm not just going to look at the floor all day. I'm going to look up at the world, right? I have now changed the stack of my vertebrae from being vertical to being tilted and extended. My camber has just changed, and I have placed more load and stress on the posterior aspect of my spine. You with me? So alignment issues dictate load bearing. Okay? If I hold my laptop here, it is lighter than if I hold my laptop out here. Significantly. Distance away from fulcrum matters, mathematically speaking. Okay? So, 3 inches is going to take your head from weighing 8 to 10 pounds to 42. Wow. Do you know how many people come in with their head only being 3 inches forward? Nobody. 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. That's what we see day in and day out. Goes upwards to 90 to 120 pounds. Weird. Their neck muscles are exhausted. So, my point is this. We laughed at the person who destroyed their tires by angling them out. But what if I challenged you and told you that you're doing the same thing to your joints? Me too. I'm doing it too. Nobody's perfect. We're going to be better tomorrow than we are today. That's what we're doing here, right?
Right.
So, how is your neck supposed to work? Your body is supposed to work a specific way. There are laws of physics that cannot be broken. You can only break yourself upon them. Let's talk about what those are. We talked about alignment, right? So, this is a neck seminar. So, head should be stacked directly over the shoulders. Shoulders should be stacked directly over the hips. Hips should be stacked directly over the ankles. In that position, your body is carrying the least amount of load and stress, and it is distributing that load across as many surfaces and across as many muscle groups as possible. There is balance. Okay? Now, what happens if I put my head forward? Okay? What's the difference? Yes, there's more load and stress, but where is that going? What does that mean? There's more load and stress. Okay? Here, my neck muscles are relaxed. They're not doing anything. They should only turn on when I turn and come back. They are movers and stabilizers. They are not structural cables. They should not carry constant stress. They should turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, and stay off. Does that make sense? Okay. When my head goes forward, when my shoulder blades pitch forward, my neck muscles are in a constant state of contraction and overwork. The structures of my spine are now being loaded, not only from the weight of my head being forward, but my muscles are contracting. And so they're literally being squished by the muscle contractions. Okay? Now you put more load on less surface area, your bones will grow bone spurs. Your discs, which is a cartilaginous material, will go bye-bye. It will be lost. Nerves will be pinched, right? So, that's a big issue. Okay, how's it supposed to work? Head should be stacked on top of the shoulders for lots of obvious reasons that physics just make extremely clear. Second, your mid-back is the root of your neck, and not in the way that you're thinking. Yes, I know it's below it. That seems obvious. Hang with me here. Okay, in order for my neck to stay in a relaxed, stable position, I need to be able to move my arm over my head or out in front of me. I need to be able to do life without my neck turning on and doing the brunt of the work, right? Have you ever heard someone go, man, whenever I try to work out, it's just all in my neck? It's because it is. They're using their neck for everything, okay? And so what's going on? Okay, let's talk about how the shoulder, the mid-back, and the neck are actually supposed to work. Remember, your neck is a spindly little thing that hangs off the top of your torso. It really shouldn't be doing a lot. It just holds your brain. It should just be not doing much, okay? What should be doing the work is all these big bones, all these big structures and muscles. Look how small these are. They're tiny. Look how big these are. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I know. I had to break character there. Okay? My chest muscles, my lat muscles, my mid-back muscles, these are big muscles. Why? Because they're supposed to do the big work. Right? We are not meant to do big, heavy work with our little tiny muscles. It doesn't work.
Sitting at a computer does not support good health in all of this.
That's the next slide. Jumping ahead, Gene. Jeez. So, how is the shoulder, mid-back, and neck supposed to work? The neck is supposed to hang out. How can the neck just hang out? Everything below it has to work properly. Okay? So the mid-back has to be able to come into extension 40 degrees. Okay? Your shoulder blade, upon rest, should sit upright at 0 degrees. This isn't 0 degrees. That's 40, 30, 20, 10, 0. When I raise my arm over my head, my shoulder blade should rotate outward 40 to 60 degrees. That makes room for my arm to come over my head without impinging on my rotator cuff, without my neck having to compensate for that. So if you want to know the root of neck problems, look at the shoulder. The shoulder is where neck problems originate. Okay? So, mobile mid-back, 40 degrees of extension. Mobile shoulder blades, okay? 40 degrees of outward rotation. Mobile shoulders, 165 to 180 degrees, all the way up overhead without, that's a compensation, okay? That's a compensation. That's not actual shoulder movement, that's scapula elevation. Those are two joints. Those are two different things. And strong shoulders, okay? All these muscles need to be strong so that way when I have to push something, I don't compensate and use my neck. That my shoulder blade is strong and anchored down so when I press, my chest is doing it, not my neck. Okay? That is how the neck is supposed to work. Everybody goes in and they do cortisone injections at the neck, and they do lots of massage at the neck, and they pop the neck, and they do all the stuff at the neck. The problem is nowhere near the neck. It's not even in the same area. Totally missing the mark. What most commonly goes wrong? I'm going to start to speed up a little here. In order to be a good steward of your body, you have to know how it's supposed to work. And we have to be able to recognize when something stops working. So, what happens? Our mid-back becomes inflexible. Okay? Wondering, everybody's fairly functional in here right now. So, I know I'm probably going to go out of camera here, so I apologize. So, my mid-back should be able to do this. Okay? Most people's mid-back goes like this. And it doesn't move. It gets stuck. That is a problem, and your neck will pay for it. Inflexible shoulder blades. Most people's shoulder blades sit tilted forward. And when they try to raise their arm, their shoulder blade doesn't go anywhere. And so they're stuck trying to get more range of motion by just elevating it. When I raise my arm over my head, look at it tilt. Look right here, right? Look at that thing tilt. It goes backwards and it goes forward and it can rotate outward. Look at all that movement. It's amazing. That's how it's supposed to work. So when the shoulder blade gets stuck and it doesn't move, okay, that bone impinges upon my rotator cuff, bumps into my arm bone, and then it won't go anywhere. It's physically stuck, and the only way to get more range of motion is to shrug. But I haven't actually got more motion through my shoulder. I'm faking it. Or you can even lean back. I've seen all sorts of compensations.
And it's time to reach the ice cream cone.
And all I wanted was the ice cream bar on the top shelf because I'm hurting so much. And lastly, weak shoulders. Okay? So if my lat muscles and my serratus muscles and my chest muscles and my mid-back muscles aren't strong, when I go to push or when I go to pull or when I go to reach overhead, those things are too weak to accomplish that, and I find a way to do it improperly through compensations. The neck is always the compensation. Always. What's the most effective way to fix the dysfunction? Remember when I said I was going to breeze through some biomechanical topics? Yeah. Fixing that dysfunction. Okay. Mid-back, yes. Shoulder blade and shoulder mobility work. Get those things moving. Okay? There's a whole list of ways to do that. Deactivations, tissue mobilizations, static stretches, active stretches, eccentric loading at end range of motion, all sorts of stuff. Go get a massage, go to a stretching place and let them stretch you. I don't care.
Is yoga good for that?
Yoga's good for that. Okay? We need our joints to be mobile. Okay? If we break the laws of physics, well, let's back that up. You don't break the laws of physics. You break yourself upon the laws of physics. If your joints don't move, they will be destroyed. End of story. Mid-back, shoulder blade, and shoulder strength work. Okay? So, once our joints are mobile and they're moving, we now need to strengthen. Okay? We need to get those areas strong. Okay? Then, full body strength work with a stable spine. Okay, so stable spine, push, pull, curl, press, leg raise, all the things. Stable spine. Your spine is meant to be stable. Get strong, keeping stability. I'm not saying that your spine shouldn't be mobile and that it shouldn't move. Your spine's very mobile, right? What we need to do is retrain a stable spine with mobile joints rather than mobile spine and our limbs are stuck, because then our spine gets destroyed.
Is this a progressive type of thing where you like one, you have to get to one before you can move to two?
Yep.
Yeah, three, and then
We're going to go into baby steps. Yay, we like baby steps. Blatantly stolen from Dave Ramsey. Blatantly. Thank you. I think I'm good. I think I'm in the clear here. All right, next. Wait, did we get through that? Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Are pills, injections, or surgeries ever a good idea? This is always the one that people think they have me pegged on. Oh, you're the anti-surgery guy. You're the anti-injection guy. You're the anti-pill guy. Nope.
It all depends.
I am not anti-pills, injections, or surgeries. I am anti-aimless and needless pill prescriptions, injections, and surgeries. Pills, injections, and surgeries are a treatment. They are a tool. The context in which you use that tool is what is important. Does that make sense? Let me give you a few examples. We had a client come in and she said, well, I had a surgery about 6 months ago and I'm still just in a ton of pain and I can't walk. I said, okay, well, what was the surgery? They removed my piriformis. I said, your piriformis is a muscle that runs through your glute and it can impinge your sciatic nerve. And it's very, very problematic. Lots of people have lots of issues with it. I said, well, I went through lots of physical therapy and I went through all this stuff. And so my doctors removed my piriformis. And I said, they just cut it out? They said, yeah, we just removed it. I said, so rather than find why the muscle was tight, you just cut the thing out. But you didn't fix the underlying problem, so now the load that that muscle was carrying is now being carried by something else, and now that is painful. You just keep cutting stuff out? Like, what's the long-term plan here? You can't cut out the next thing and the next thing. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. Okay, so what we did was we found out what her load-bearing issues were, got her stronger so that she can carry the load more evenly, and she's doing amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Spinal fusions without proper diagnostics. This one is near and dear to my heart. So, you do a spinal fusion to create more stability and to get a problematic disc out. How do you know that that disc is the origin or the cause of your pain without diagnostic processes to positively identify that that disc is the problem? If you do not positively identify that that disc is the problem and you go and do a big surgery, you might as well flip a coin as to whether or not it's going to be effective. It's called a discogram.
Is it really? Oh.
That's how you test to see if you have discogenic pain. There's a procedure. Unfortunately, most doctors don't do it before spinal fusions. You just start cutting on stuff. The next example, anytime your doctor says, "Would you like me to give you a cortisone injection?" What do you mean, would I like a cortisone injection? No, I wouldn't like a cortisone injection. I want to fix my problem, right? They're just wanting to help you with your symptoms. You can't blame them. That's the only tool in their tool belt. They want to help, right? The problem is they're leaving the diagnostics in your hands. Would you like a cortisone injection? You're like, I don't know. Do I need one? Well, would you like one? I don't know. And now you're in a circular debate, right? The problem with cortisone injections is that they destroy the structures that you place them into. You inject cortisone into a bone, into a muscle, into a tendon. It destroys the structure that you place it in. Yes, it decreases inflammation. So it does help with pain, short term. Long term, it creates bigger issues.
It actually destroys tissue.
Mm-hmm. That's newer research. 10 years or so. Newer research. The treatment itself is never the issue. The application of the treatment in a context is the issue. There are times when I will say, I need you to go get a cortisone injection. And I know that it's not a good long-term strategy, but if we can get this calmed down enough that we can start moving and getting some progress made on these other fronts, we might have something here, right? Or, PRP, surgery, it's all context dependent. We're almost done. Last slide. We made it, people. Good. Glad it wasn't painful. The baby steps. This is a progressional way to walk through your pain problem. Okay? 1, drive down inflammation. Look at food. Look at water. Look at coffee. Look at stress. Find the things that are driving up inflammation, because you don't know what the situation is until you clear the field of all of that, right? You're walking through a forest and there's trees everywhere and you're bumping into it, right? And you're like, what is going on? It's so foggy. I can't see. We need to clear the field, get the fog out so we can more clearly determine and chart a course through the forest. Clear the inflammation. Know your joints, make them mobile. Know how your joints are supposed to move and get them that way. I'm not being picky on how you get them that way. Stretch, deactivations, loading with weights. I don't care. Get them there. Okay? Now, you have to find ways to get them there without causing more pain. That's the trick. There's lots of strategies out there, though. So many strategies. 3, be strong and light. The heavier you are, the stronger you have to be to move your body around in our gravity field. Okay? If I'm walking, my hips have to be a lot stronger if I weigh 50 pounds more to move my body through space productively. Okay? Notice, step 2 is make them mobile. Step 3 is get them strong. Right? If you go into strength work with your joints being stuck and immobile, you will hurt yourself. You will dramatically increase your chances of injuries. And there is no way no way to get the proper muscles firing in the proper order if your joints don't move the way that they should. Step 2 comes before step 3. Don't shortcut it. Be patient. Number 4, focus on your heart. Stress, mindset, these are all really important components to the chronic pain experience. Okay? If you've taken care of inflammation, you've taken care of joint mobility, you've taken care of strength, you've decreased your body weight, and you still have 30-40% of your pain left, what are other variables for us to control? Let's start looking at the underpinnings of some of our emotional reactions. Let's heal some of those things, right? Lastly, focus on others. Our nervous system is less reactive. It is healthier when we are loving. When we are focused on serving others, we don't sense threats to ourselves because we are other-oriented. Pain signals are a sense and a signal that there is a threat. If I'm focused on loving you, I'm not worried about a threat to me. Okay? That is a wrap. We made it.
Thank you.
Yay!